So most people like to throw around terms like AI automation and AI agents, but they don't actually understand the difference. If you're building with AI or thinking about using it in your business, that confusion can cost you time, money, and clients. In this video, we'll break down the real difference between AI automations and AI agents, when to use each, and how to pick the right tool for what you're building. So whether you're a founder or a builder or just someone who's trying to get ahead, this will save you a lot of time and trial and error. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So the distinction between AI agents and automations really does matter. And most people, I find, confuse the two. And this confusion can lead to a lower ROI, wasted time, and even lost clients. The distinction matters because both AI agents and AI automations are intrinsically different, and they have different use cases, which we will cover later on in this video. So if you're somebody that's building workflows, it's really important to know the difference between these two. So moving forward, we're going to start with automation itself. So there are three types of automation systems. Starting off with traditional automation. For this, there's no AI involved, and it follows a very prescriptive if X, then Y logic. This type of automation has been used for decades, and the tools commonly used for this today include Zapier, Make.com, and Go High Level. The advantage for this type of automation is that it's super reliable, and it will consistently do exactly what you want it to do, with very little room for error. Now, this type of automation is great for invoices, CRM updates, lead flows, etc. Now, moving on to the second type of automation is AI automation. This basically adds an AI LLM model step to traditional workflows. For example, using a large language model to write your very own personalized custom email. So this typically has a lot of similarities with traditional automation. We're just augmenting that automation using AI. So it still follows a left to right flow, and we can easily control the logic. Now, these type of automations have high ROI and are relatively easy to maintain and control. Now, the third type of automation system is the dynamic AI automation system. This basically allows AI to choose between predefined paths to follow. An example of this would be using AI to classify emails and then routing the workflow into different pathways based on those classifications. So this type of automation is more flexible, but it's not truly autonomous. So now if we go into examples of each, this is what a traditional automation would look like. This is a Google form completion automation built out in Make.com. Every time a response is created in Google form, it then adds a row. So if X, then Y. So when a Google form is completed, do this, add a row to Google Sheets, and then it also sends an email and sends a message in Teams. So very if X, then Y prescriptive type logic. So that would be an example of traditional automation. Next up would be AI automation. So this is a file analyzer. So you can see that it's still very left to right, if X, then Y, but instead, as you can see, we have this open AI step in the middle. So in this example, we're using AI to evaluate the file, the text data from the file in different ways, and then we're adding that open AI output to a Google Sheet. And then the final example for dynamic AI automation, this is our inbox manager example that we had, using an email classifier. So using AI to classify emails into 4 different categories. So we have high priority, customer support, brand collabs, agency leads, and then routing different pathways based on each classification. So this would be an example of dynamic AI automation, in which we're using AI to dynamically route the workflow. So that's our automation systems. But what about AI agents? What makes an AI agent different? So the difference between automation systems and AI agents is that AI agents decide what tools to use and what order they use them. So we don't predefine the flow, the model figures it out itself. So if we look at this example right here, this is an AI agent which has a plethora of tools available to it, right? So it has its open AI model. It has memory to remember prior responses. It can create a Google Calendar event. It can send a message through Gmail. It can perform deep research with Perplexity. And then it also has access to data within a Supabase vector storage. So when a chat is received, it can hypothetically call any of these tools in any order. So if a user says create an event with Tom at 1 p.m. on Saturday, it will be able to do that by calling that Google Calendar create an event tool. So this looks really fancy and it has lots of capabilities, but there are definitely trade-offs that you need to be aware of when using AI agents. And the trade-offs are displayed right here. Here are the pros and cons of AI automations versus AI agents. So starting with AI automations, these are extremely reliable workflows. They're predictable. They're easy to debug since it's just very sequential nodes. You can see exactly where the workflow fails. But the downside here is that they can't handle edge cases or use flexible logic. Now for AI agents, the difference is that these are much more flexible. They're much more adaptive. They can handle complex inputs. They're great for demos and chat interfaces, but they're not as reliable as AI automations. Typically, if you run these 100, 1,000 times, 1 to 5% of the time, they will fail. And in core operations, that could be very costly. And as a result of this, they are much harder to maintain and control. So what about the use cases? When should we use AI automations versus AI agents? You typically want to use an AI automation when the process is clear and repeatable. Processes where reliability truly matters, like finance, legal, and ops, AI automations are better to use. If the system rarely changes, or as a business or a developer, you need full control, AI automations are the way to go. Now for AI agents, if you need flexibility like customer support, if you want a wow factor for something that's customer facing, and for tasks that aren't mission critical where a few mistakes are okay, then AI agents would make more sense to use. So now to conclude, AI agents are developing very rapidly and their capabilities are becoming better and better day by day, but you should approach them with caution for using in core operations. AI agents can hallucinate, they can make mistakes, and even if an agent fails 1% of the time, that could be costly to businesses. So it makes much more sense to prioritize using AI automations, and as AI agents mature, look to implement these as well. But it's important to note that the future is truly hybrid systems. What this means is that AI automations will handle the back-end procedures and processes, whereas AI agents will handle the more flexible and unpredictable front end. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and now you have a clear understanding of the difference between AI automations and AI agents, and you'll know when to use one over the other. This is so imperative as you approach automating different tasks and building workflows out in n8n. Now, if you want to learn more about AI and building AI automations and AI agents, then make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more content. Really appreciate your support, and I'll see you in the next one.